Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I'm Gat, your host. A viewer requested, they requested a few orders, so this is one of them. We'll be doing their natal chart analysis. We've done it previously, but now we want to do it again, more updated. All right, now, first thing you notice is it's the 12th house. Now, this is important only because the full moon of March 31st will be in Libra. So I'm offering that service. I've already had a few people order it. Now, if you place the recent order, then you can see it for free. But it explains everything. It's going to be a significant change, especially with Aries. The sun signs in Aries, the moon is going to be in Leo. So it's going to be a significant change starting around that full moon of March 31st. What is it? I think it's March 31st, 2018 this month, though, about 5 days. Today's March 26th. A lot of stuff in relationships, just around the world. And it's already happened. I already said that what's going on. I said they were going to kick the diplomats out, and they did. You know, you can see it in the natal chart. This is something not to play with. So if you've never given, never donated, never took an order, you can still see that. But the donation is $15. Now, if you place order like this person, they can see it for free if they want. And people that have given, because the universal law is to give and receive. You can't just keep coming and taking information and never get back. Because it's also a lot about karma. A lot with Saturn is there and Pluto, and they teach lessons. So that's going to happen to a lot of people too. So it is there if you want to request it. It's all about this big super full, we'll say full blue moon, not blood moon, but a blue moon, full blue moon, March 31st in Libra. It's all about relationships, law, everything. A lot of stuff going on with that 8th house, so anything could happen. If you got legal problems or problems with inheritances, or you definitely want to see that video. But it's everything. Whenever you see Mars, you're talking about war, all kind of stuff, even within a relationship. So that's her ascendant and Libra. But again, it's in her 12th house became the first house. Now the ascendant is when the sun, when she was born, the sun was in Libra, but at the moment it was rising over the horizon. That's the ascendant. That's why they call it your rising sign. So they said, what's your rising sign? Is Libra. And the east point is where the sun was going over the ecliptic when the person was born. So it's kind of like her 12th house became her first house because of that. But usually when you're dealing with your 12th house, you're dealing with things you need to reckon with, things in your subconscious. And when you're dealing with Libra, you're dealing with partnership issues, relationship issues. And because it's in 12, see, it became her first house, but it's still house number 12. So all this could have happened before in the past life: relationship issues, partnership issues, contract issues, even social issues, even social issues with the law, issues with fairness. But now Libra, like I said, Libra likes to try to have things fair. They try to have peace and harmony. But the only thing with Libra is they tend to see things idealistically. And the world is never going to be idealistic. Everybody's going to have flaws. So what happens, sometimes a Libra will get a relationship and they're really in it with it. But if they start to see their partner's flaws, they start to pull back. And they don't really talk about it. They just withdraw. And they may even start like really showing more attention to another person. And their partner don't even really realize it because they never talked about it. So you have to be very careful with a Libra because you know, if you're going to be in a relationship, you have to communicate. Also with Libras, like I said, they can tend to be perfectionists, so you have to be careful because nothing's perfect. And also like they when they see something a certain way, they kind of want your agreement on it. And you may not see it the same way. You might want to disagree. So they may say they're going to agree to disagree, but they'll keep bringing it up. They'll find different ways to bring it up. So that can become annoying to people. So you just have to be careful with that. But they are sociable people. They're fair people. Sometimes they go, they really go out of their way to help people. But you have to be careful because again, her 12th house is really her first house now, but it's still going to be there. So she's still going to have 12th house energy. And the 12th house energy is ruled by Pisces, which is about sacrifice. And sometimes a person will be trying so much to get along with everybody that they don't have an identity. So you have to, it's essential to have your own identity. You could work with people, but you have to have your own identity too. And again, nothing's going to be perfect. So sometimes we go out of our way to help somebody, but that person's going to have to learn how to help themselves. They can't sit around waiting for somebody else to come bail them out or help them all the time. So Libra just has to be careful. Now she has a lot of 21s on her chart. So we'll probably look at that in numerology. But before we do, so we have her ascendant at 21 degrees, 19 minutes and minutes. 21 is 777. So those are those triple sevens. So Doreen Virtue doesn't do numerology on her angel therapy website anymore, Hay House, because she's making a lot of changes in her life. So that might be why she asked Hay House to remove her numerologies. But I did find an old website she was using. But it's usually triple digits. So we're going to go there first for the number 777. Because that would be 21. Seven, 777, and the angels applaud you. Congratulations. You're on a roll. Keep up the good work and know your wish is coming true. This is an extremely positive sign and means you should also expect more miracles to occur. So now we got that 777. Anywhere you see 21 on her chart, that's what the message is for that house or that sign or that planet or asteroid, wherever you see the 21. So this is her ascendant. And now we're also going to look at sacred scribe angel number. And now Joanne Scribe writes a lot more information because Doreen Virtue got right to the point, but most of the time I like Doreen because she would just tell you what the number was. She'd usually just get right to the point. But we'll use Joanne. Angel number 21 suggests that there may be some new opportunities or directions for you to take that will lead you to new and exciting directions. Because right now, again, we just left a new moon, and in less than 5 days, we're going into a full moon. Trust that your angels are by your side throughout these changes and traditions and transitions and are guiding your every step. They encourage you to remain calm, balanced, and happy, and you will find that all will work out for your highest good. Angel number 21 is a message from your angels for you to be aware of your thoughts as they are manifesting your ideas and beliefs into reality. So we have to watch what we think about and how we think about it, because whatever we do is going to manifest with 777 around you. So you want to make sure your thoughts are positive, encouraging, and you're thinking about what you want to see manifested in your life, because by doing that, that's what's going to manifest. So they tell you have to be optimistic and maintain a positive attitude regarding current changes, because they're letting you know you're having changes coming in your life or circumstances, current changes or circumstances in your life. as this will help to manifest your desired results. Angel number 21 asks that you maintain your faith and positive expectations about all aspects of your life. Use positive affirmations to bolster your resolve and to keep you connected to the angelic realm. So the angels want you to stay positive because that's how you stay connected to your angels. That was the angel 21, which is also 777. Now in that degree 21, what does 21 degrees mean? 21 degrees Libra, because that's your ascendant. So we'll look at that now. This person can be neglectful, unwise, and unrealistic. As one readily flaunts one's wealth, one is bound to be taken advantage of by friends and relatives, and I already warned her about that. However, since one is intelligent and hardworking, one manages to be successful and to achieve power. So that's what the 21 degree Libra means. All right. Now look at the next number, 721. So we just covered all those numbers earlier. So that's how you can see the number 21 is following her number 7, so that's 777. So they're saying she sees a lot of miracles too. And that's really big because this is Scorpio in the second house. But now, what's something that you want to be interested in? See, Scorpio rules your 8th house. Now, your second house is ruled by Taurus, but your second house is supposed to deal with your money. Now, your 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. That's supposed to deal with other people's money. So you have Scorpio in your second house, which means somehow you're dealing with other people's money in a way that is yours, or however you're doing it, but somehow you're dealing with other people's resources as if it's yours. And again, that's when you have to be careful, especially when you see Libra, because that can become lawful. You could have lawsuits. It could be really become lawful. So you just have to be careful. All right. So I'm going to have to do this now since Scorpio's right there. Scorpio is, they say, probably the most powerful zodiac sign, but it's a water sign, very emotional. Libra's an air sign. So the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto. So your second house is really like the 8th house, because you got both Scorpio and Pluto in there. So your 8th house ruled by Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, deals with secrets, mystery, sexual matters, mysteries, doubt, accusations, suspicions, supernatural psychic abilities, internal plotting, internal indignation, conspiracy, vengeance, revenge, anxiety, esoteric knowledge, forbidden knowledge, hidden knowledge, obsessions, addictions, compulsion, power, power struggles, manipulations, power manipulations, abuse, greed, lust, compulsive behavior, codependency, stalking, intense watery emotions, arguments, debates, tauntings, revenge, fear, intensity, psychic abilities, great transformation, high sexuality, doubt, depth, taxes, IRS, legal matters, court, lawsuits, inheritances, law breaking, shared resources, finances, business, karma, other people's money, the soul, reincarnation, afterlife, death, resurrection, rebirth, regeneration, rejuvenation, animalistic behaviors, freaky, down and dirty behaviors, psychological situations, studies, research, knowledge, forbidden knowledge, hidden knowledge, investigations, investigators, managers, agents, addictions, drugs, alcoholism, other worlds, creepy crawlies, other dimensions, science, higher sciences, holistic healing, healing, spiritual healings, alternative medicine, internet, long distance, advanced technology, alchemy, metaphysics, sacred geometry, things that are forbidden, a taboo, astrology, knowledge, hidden knowledge, aliens, higher life, deceived persons, astral planing, telekinesis, telepathy, dreams, interpretation, animals, enemies, Halloween, the divine womb, deities, tarot cards, higher thoughts, inheritances, loans, banking, animals, pregnancy, woman's body, and finance. That's all the stuff that could be dealing with when you deal with Scorpio. Wherever you see Scorpio, or wherever you see the 8th house, or wherever you see Pluto, you can be dealing with any of that. The 8th house rules other people's money and transformation. So you have all this going on in your 2nd house. But somehow it's implying that your money, as you tied it up, or it's got tied up with other people's money. Other people's money can mean debt, taxes, inheritances, wills, joint finances, shared resources, spouse, partner, and loan. The 8th house is on the axis of the 2nd house, and that axis is the axis of money. Now, transformations can be mental, emotional, physical. It can be sex, start of life, pregnancy, process of life, and major transformation to a woman's body, and death. The death can be literal death and or figurative death. Now, the 8th house is one of 3 relationship houses. The 5th house is love, 7th house is commitment, 8th house is sex. So, and you got all that in your 2nd house. And your 2nd house, again, is about your possessions, your finances, and your value system. And the 2nd house is ruled by Taurus, which is your moon sign. And ironically, your Taurus looks like it's in your 8th house. So that's your vertex is there, and your true north node. So really, your life is really, and then you see 21 again with your vertex. So your life is really built. Your life is based on that person, that vertex, because you got some type of financial thing going on with that person. And when you see it like that, it's usually based on some type of past life stuff as well. Because your Scorpio, the 8th house is about souls and twin souls and past lives and all those things. And even your Pluto is retrograde, which implies past life. So now we'll look at Pluto retrograde. So when you see Pluto retrograde, it brings changes with fresh starts and dead ends. During this period, things we hang on to the most can suddenly be taken away, causing us to reevaluate what we value most. So we may have things in the second house, but they'll suddenly get taken away. That's because of Pluto retrograde, and it causes you to reevaluate what you value most. Because remember, your second house is supposed to be about what you value. Now, change can occur through destruction and rebuilding, or rejuvenation and regeneration. See, that's why that's a dangerous house, because I'm going to tell you why. Because you're already dealing with other people's money. Now, things can go sour, and you could do some jail time. You know, whether you're guilty or not guilty, but with Pluto retrograde and you got Scorpio, because that's other people's money, but you got that in your house, your money, and you could. It's just a lot of bad scenarios with that, especially with Pluto retrograde, because Pluto retrograde is definitely going to take something away, and it's going to be very impactful, because Pluto is very powerful, so it's going to be very impactful. Change can occur through destruction and rebuilding, or rejuvenation and regeneration. Outside forces at work as well, including government upheaval, weapons, and war. Change can often be difficult, and sometimes being forced into change is the only way to push some people forward in life. So it says, if Pluto is retrograde in your chart, you face issues of control. Feeling as if you must control all things in and around your life, often to the extreme at the expense of others. Holding on to relationships so tight they become suffocating to your partner, or holding on to past relationships, refusing to let go and move on. From a past life perspective, you were probably ostracized from your family, community, or exiled from your home country. You may have been the scapegoat for the community, and you stood alone for bad deeds that perhaps you didn't even commit. These past incarnations have left you feeling mistrustful of others, especially those close to you. To overcome these lessons, you need to learn trust of yourself and of others. People are not out to get you in this lifetime. If you do allow the manipulations of others to affect you, you're letting them control your emotions and your actions. So you must learn to let the weaknesses of others slide off of you. Don't give them the grip to hang on to, and they will be forced to find another to focus on. Use your knowledge and wisdom of the past as benefits to hone your instinct. Learn who to avoid and who to trust. And most of all, how to believe and trust in yourself. Because see, like with Libra, you want somebody there, like it's either going to be social, but Libra really wants somebody there, usually social, wants some type of partnership, some type of, person to talk to, or some type of relationship. But in this setting, it's just kind of dangerous. Not saying you shouldn't do it, but you should be aware, because it just seems like you might already know about it, but it just seems like you're going to have a problem with shared resources, because well, you think something's yours and maybe it was, but y'all duking it out. Cause like I said, I'm forced to go to your 8th house already before we even get to the. In fact, let's go to the 3rd, because I see that Mars there. So you could tell this is gonna be, these two be getting into it, whoever it is. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, like say you say, what is he talking about? This has already happened in your life, or it's going to happen in your life. But this is definitely it, and it is going to be probably your twin soul, because you see that cross right there with 21. That's your vertex, and that's always going to show you your soulmate or your twin soul, because your soulmate could be anybody in your soul family. That's why people do be finding in more than one person in relationships, because sometimes you be with a soulmate, you be with somebody you got a karmic relationship with, but then you got your twin soul. That's the same soul, but in a different body, and you can only have one twin soul, but you can have a lot of soulmates. Now, so that's in your 8th house, and so now going into your 3rd house, which is unique, you got Sagittarius there. Now your 3rd house is ruled by Gemini. Now Gemini is very creative, a thinker, a multitasker. The 3rd house deals with younger children, younger education, travel, but it's like short distance travels, not really long distance. Creativity, your siblings, and the environment around you. Now, we'll look at Sagittarius in the 3rd house. Because see, Sagittarius is the 9th house. But when it comes to twin flames, the universe tries to push you away from Gemini energy, because Gemini energy is kind of, it doesn't like to go deep. It doesn't want long term. Gemini tends to want its freedom, and if Gemini is not gonna work through no problems. Like once it starts to get pragmatic, the Gemini gonna want out. So the universe tries to get them. That's the separation stages of the twin flame. So the universe tries to push you to Sagittarius energy, because Sagittarius is a little bit more mature. But you already have your Sagittarius and the Gemini. So we're going to look at that. Better yet, let's do it again. We want Sagittarius in the 3rd house. That's what we want. Alright, this is going to be astrologyclub.org. So they say this person loves to learn. They just want to learn. So they say this person will be a perpetual student. Because see, Sagittarius deals with that 9th house. That's your higher self. It's foreign. And also somebody here speaks probably more than one language. They may be what's considered a foreigner when you see Sagittarius in the 3rd house. So this person may have something to do with education, either learning or going somewhere where there's learning or going back to school again and again. Or they might just like try to learn a lot or take different workshops and classes because they love to learn. They love to have their mind stimulated. And they like to talk to others about what they know and stuff like that. And they may know more than one language, or they've at least tried other languages. They know a little bit about other languages. And they say this type of person can kind of be almost honest to a fault. But they said you have to be careful because some people want to learn, but they don't really apply the knowledge that they're learning. They're saying this person can be an excellent student with the ability to comprehend abstractions. So they can become easily bored if they're not challenged. So they need a constant mental challenge. Because their mind, a Sagittarius mind in the third house ruled by Gemini, is an active, inquisitive, probing mind. Well, they say sometimes they're narrow-minded because they're only going to pursue what interests them. So they don't really expand on their mind. They just pursue interest that they pursue subjects that interest them, topics that interest them. So they say in Sagittarius could be a little narrow-minded or a little selfish because they're only interested in, well, how can this benefit me? How is this going to help me? They're not really interested in the overall, like other people. Overall, they're just looking at what they can get out of it. So they have to be careful of that. So they say Sagittarius communicates more in the third house ruled by Gemini than anywhere else on the chart in the houses. So they say a Sagittarius in the third house is definitely an extrovert. And they're more of a brotherhood. So we know because of Libra, we already knew they were going to be sociable because of Libra ascendant. But now Sagittarius in the third house, they really could work well with people. All right. So a lot of communication going there. But see, like I said, she tends to say what's on her mind or whatever. But she's also going to meet this person. So now we want to go. See, on that full moon chart, you're going to see Mars and Saturn too. And that's what's going on in the world. On that the full moon chart that I was offering, and you can see it on the channel as well. On this channel, this is Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. But I said it. The U.S. was going to probably kick Russia out of those embassies because something happened with Russia. I think somebody got poisoned, and they said one of Russia's people did it, and they were telling Donald Trump, the president, to tell Russia to get out of here, get out of the embassies. Whenever they get ready, I'm not saying they're going to have a war or not, but whenever they're getting ready for a war, they start kicking people out of the embassies. And so that's a Saturn, and that's Mars, because Saturn represents authority, and Mars is at the authority using whatever, using any extreme means. And then Mars rules Aries as well. And it could mean, because Aries can mean beginnings. But so she has this here. And see, Uranus implies, see, it's not as good as it could be, because see, anything could happen with Uranus. But now that little asterisk is Juno. So Juno says you're going to find somebody with third house energy, either Gemini energy or Sagittarius energy. And that means, they'll be a good speaker or whatever it might be. But it's something sudden. And when you see Saturn and Mars, you just have to be very careful. Because Saturn is the authority saying, okay, that's it. And then Mars is the authority using whatever power it can use to try to maintain its authority. So that could be dangerous, especially with Uranus because it's sudden. And I just studied that today with Saturn and Mars. Just out of curiosity. Well, even because you got like 8 degree. Let's try 8 degree Sagittarius. Ambitious, magnanimous, and passionate character, endowed with unyielding willpower, which brings about success and fame. Under the influence of unforeseeable outer circumstances, life suddenly takes an unexpected turn. And it's funny because that's only 8 degrees Sagittarius. It didn't say nothing about Uranus, but Uranus is things that just happen unexpectedly, suddenly. The royal fixed star Antares promises glory and power. But now Antares is in the Scorpion constellation. So I don't know how this person is knowing all this, but they must know that if Sagittarius is at 8 degrees, they must know where it's at. Because Antares is close to Mars, not all the time, but a lot of the times. Promises glory and power, but also upheaval, slander, and violence. So that's what I'm saying. Because you're so far you could see it. That's why instead of going to your eighth house, I came to your third. Because it just seemed like the person you're gonna be in a relationship with, it may be the same person, but it's just gonna be a lot of argument, a lot of power struggles, a lot of arguments, and you got to be careful of the violence. Because Saturn and Mars can reap violence. Not always, but it can. But also upheaval, slander, and violence. And see, slander is the mouth because, again, that third house, because they already said she's going to say what she feel. If in the natal chart, the midheaven and our important planets are in conjunction with the degree within a 5% orb, this heralds a very high honors and dignitaries. If the natal chart indicates inspiration and altruism, in a few specific cases, actions are spurred by a great humanistic vision, which goes far beyond the scope of an ordinary life. All right. So let's just see if I can find something for Juno conjunct Saturn. Well, let me just try Juno conjunct Mars. Because Juno conjunct Saturn is just a serious person looking for a serious relationship. Or a person who's serious about a relationship. So they're not going to really give me Juno conjunct Mars. All right. Maybe. Just give me a moment. I'm just going to look around just a little bit. So they say with this conjunction, Juno belongs to the woman and Mars to the man. The essence of the contact lies largely in a man's feelings about his own empowerment as a man and his effectiveness in fulfilling ego needs and taking action. So that's why I say it's like he it looks like he's the Saturn, and what he's trying to do is contain her, but he's trying to use Mars energy to do it. So that's a bully. And also basically the so far, if anybody's been listening, they're kind of like saying she could kind of like really be like special, but she's gonna have this whatever this relationship with this guy that's gonna really be challenging, and she has to be careful. So they're saying if he feels good about himself, if he has confidence in himself, then he'll be willing to help her with her empowerment. But he's not gonna do it if he doesn't have inner confidence. He's gonna be really trying to control her, and that's really what you're seeing. And they say she, however, may find him too abrasive and hard aspect. So her mistake is gonna be looking at him, because see, she's got that ascendant Libra, and if she's looking at him, see, he would have to have his act together, and so far it don't look like he do, because all you see is a whole lot of arguing. Plus, it's his past life stuff. Now, I'll be sending a free report. Now, in a free report, there's two videos I tell everybody to watch: Twin Flame Drama by DNA Awakening and The Stages of Twin Flames by DNA Awakening. Because a lot of people, they be wanting to know about twin flame, but they don't want to take the steps, and they hate me for telling them the truth. Like, they would rather I lied to them. Like everybody, like, I'm not saying everybody on YouTube is lying to them, but most of them are, and they'll pay them their money and they'll get them everywhere I go. I just tell the truth, and people don't like it. But if you want to be lied to, then that's up to you. Because whenever you believe any type of lie, you're gonna have to wake up sooner or later. So you be better off dealing with the truth like I do and moving forward than dealing with a lie, and you keep believing this lie, and then you're going to wake up one day and say, damn, I just wasted 15, 20 years. So that's kind of what you're seeing here. Like, this situation will be based on, like, really arguments and stuff. And Sharon with him in the second house, because that's possessions, finances, and value system. That might be detrimental to him or her with that Pluto retrograde. But in the third house, it kind of looks like she's ready to go. Like, she's ready to get knowledge and learn and excel. But he's right there. And plus, like I said, Uranus could come out the blue. Like, she may just say something. He might just spaz out on her. Like, he's still mad about something else she said, or something else he ain't happy with. Or he's insecure about itself. And it might be, she'll say one thing, he'll just go off on her from like 2 months ago or some crazy stuff. You can already see it. But that is her true north node. And see, even with that Uranus, you got that number 21 again. And then with the vertex, you got that 21. And with the ascendant, you got that 21. So I'm starting to think he's part of that 21 as well. And then you see she got the number 12 a lot too, which is number 21. 2112. All right, so now Taurus is highly sensual, love sent, but Taurus can be very patient, faithful. Taurus can also be stubborn, but again, Taurus is about value systems and has a lot of magnetism. So people are attracted to Taurus, and you see all this in the eighth house, but they like to be sensual, very sensual. They like to eat, they like massages, because that's her true north node. And now in her house that should be other people's resources, hers is there, which ain't good. Cause see, you don't want your resources in other people's resources house. Cause then you gotta ask yourself who's the other person. Like when you see Taurus rules the second house. That's supposed to be your resources. That's your house, your money. And when you see that in the eighth house, that's shared. That's other people's money. So that's why I said you have to be careful. And when you see that especially the cross right there, you know it's that person. So that's something Libra does. Sometimes they just make a big mistake. And like I try to teach people because they say, well, it's on my chart, and plus it's my true north node, so obviously it's something I'm supposed to experience. And I say, yeah, that is kind of true, but sometimes, you know, like I said, it's kind of funny. I'm gonna say this because I remember I got history with this person, but that's like if you knew your time of death, would you just go there and say, well, it's on my chart? Would you just go there and die? Like I think it's sometime when you have to use common sense. Like like the more you study, especially if you study with somebody like me, you're gonna learn something like universal sovereignty. Like you have a universal sovereignty, and you don't have to give up. You don't have to give up your You have to really believe that. If you understand universal sovereignty, you don't have to just willfully give up your life, because you have every reason to live as anybody else. And there might be times you do it for a cause or a reason. Like when they talk about Messiah, he willfully gave up his life to save other people, but he didn't have to do that. So you don't have to just give up your life. So I'm not saying don't fulfill your true north node or your life purpose, but I am saying you don't have to put yourself in situations where somebody's bullying you or being abusive to you and stuff. Because I wouldn't. You know, I think you always have a right, and a lot of people don't realize that you have a right to exist. You have a right to experience peace. You have a right to experience love. But if you don't take it, it's not gonna come. If you don't give it, like if you don't give love and all that, then you won't get it. But if you have the opportunity, you can take it. Like you don't have to sit there and just put up with somebody else's garbage. Because sometimes that person will do that to you because they know they can get away with it, but they would never do that to somebody else. So that's what I mean. You have to really understand. Astrology is a guide to help you, but it doesn't mean you're not cemented to it. You're only cemented to it if you put yourself there. So again, the main thing is, okay, how am I protected? You know, if I'm dealing with other people's finances, how am I protected so this doesn't blow up in my face? Because I see that Pluto retrograde right there. So how am I protected? Because I don't want to go to jail, or I don't want nobody accusing me of doing something I shouldn't have did, or however getting set up, or whatever could happen with that second house. And then, okay, why is my money, my resources, and shared resources section? So how am I going to protect my money? Because like I said, even if you're dating somebody, you can say, hey, listen, this is what we'll do. You and I can both open up an account where we put, I put some of my money in it, you put some of your money in it. But I want my own account. Like I don't want you knowing my passwords and stuff like that, because anything could happen. That's just common sense. And she has a lot of it looked like she had a lot of 0 degrees. Let me see again. Maybe not. Because I did somebody else's chart, I think. Well, yeah, on that moon chart, I think they had a lot of 0 degrees. Because I know I saw 0 degrees today. All right. Now, she's got Lilith retrograde in her 8th house and her 9th house. All right, so we got to do some looking around. because the internet doesn't talk about Lilith retrograde too much. They talk a little bit about Lilith, but not so much Lilith retrograde as much. So I want to see if they got any new information and see what I can find on Lilith retrograde. Alright, give me a moment. Alright, so what we're going to do first is talk about Lilith direct, but yours is not direct. But generally, the retrograde is opposite of when it's direct. So we're going to study it and we're going to show you what it would mean direct. And it's really on the border, so we're going to do both houses. The 8th house and the 9th house. Alright, bear with me. So I want to make sure we have this. I think we do. But I'm going to do it again just to make sure. Does it say Jacob? Yes, it does. Let me do it again. Very good. So we're doing Lilith in the 8th house. The instinctive, irrational, primal side of a person is most comfortable in arenas of life where trust and intimacy are paramount importance. It's her natural home in the person's psyche and therefore outer life. This includes sexuality shared with other people, but also any relationships that require absolute honesty and have something to do with power. Hence the traditional assassination. Hence the traditional assassination or assigning to this house of sex, death, and other people's money. But again, because your Taurus is there, it's primarily your money. So that's why Lilith is there. Because they even said trust or something like that. So it may have been. Like I said, it could be some past life, and in this life, you're kind of working on surrendering. But it's not easy because you see you two are arguing now. Whoever this person is. You can definitely see the arguing. But that vertex and true north node kind of does give the implication that that's what you're supposed to do in this life. Because maybe in another life you were real selfish and stuff. So now in this life, the universe is making you share. And maybe that's why they made him tougher. Because maybe in a previous life you bullied him. Because all the stuff when you start about karma. Especially when you see Saturn, that's definitely karma. And when you deal with Pluto, they're both teaching you a lesson. Saturn is more like, okay, you were speeding, so now you got a ticket. Or you were speeding and somebody cut you off, now somebody's going to speed and cut you off. But Pluto retrograde is more like everything just goes. Like man, it's just, you get hit with so much, it's just so much to even deal with. Alright, so now we want to know Lilith retrograde. Lilith retrograde is going to take you through a period where you are forced to acknowledge parts of yourself so maybe something you didn't see about yourself before, but now Lilith is there in that 8th house to make you see it, and in your 9th house too. And you have to be careful, because see, that's the house of power too. Because Lilith retrograde tends to hold it in, but then all of a sudden she'll just blow up. And they be saying like the psych. They said that she's a psycho bitch from hell. That's what they're saying. This website is ASTROESOTERIC Pro.com, Lilith and the signs of the zodiac. But I believe it's talking about Lilith retrograde as well. Alright, give me 1 second. I'm going to try to find something. Alright, give me a second. I'm trying to find this. All right. So now your ninth house has a lot of healing. That diamond-shaped asteroid is Pallas. Pallas helps you see patterns, but when Pallas is retrograde, it also helps you with social issues. So in the ninth house, this is the higher self. So you may even use like higher knowledge and higher education. This is religion, philosophy, culture, class, in-laws, the law. So you may use these things to help the brotherhood or the community, because that's what Gemini is all about. Gemini is the third house, and it's healing there. So Gemini in the ninth house. astrologyclub.org. You may likely go to your philosophical and or spiritual beliefs to seek and find ways to gain information and knowledge or to prove what you know. This is an interesting position for Gemini because it represents the student and the teacher's house. Because like I said, for twin flames, when they keep breaking up and going into separation, they're in the Gemini stage. That's the immature stage. If you see Gemini in the 10th house, this is somebody who either works part-time or they don't tend to keep jobs too long, or they got like different jobs. They go from job to job. Gemini, in the natal chart, Gemini very seldom stands for longevity. So again, if like for anybody that's listening, it does seem kind of like a reversal. Like in a past life, she may have been the more aggressive one, but now they kind of switched it on her. Give me one moment. All right. It's likely that you are challenged by authority figures and seek to learn and know more than they do, so you can feel free to think and believe what you want. So they're still bringing that third house, though, because the third house they were trying to be the know-it-all. So now they're bringing the whole third house, which is ruled by Gemini. Now they're bringing it into the ninth house. There is a danger that you think you know more than you really do. And you miss out crucial information trying to prove your wisdom prematurely. It is important not to depend on or to expect education and information alone to carry you. You need to actually have the life experience to have credibility. So they're kind of taking you back to your third house and your ninth house, because they said just getting a whole lot of knowledge and then acting like you know everything is not really cool. You got to really get out there and really know it. And maybe that's why they put Pallas there, because see, Pallas retrograde is social. These are people that are really helping people that need help, and they might even go to the neighborhoods and stuff and help the people. But the point they're trying to make is just that you just got to find a balance between learning and what you know and actually doing it. Because that's the only way any of us can really know anything. We actually were there and we actually did it. Otherwise, we're all guilty of that. Especially with the YouTube, especially when the information age, we're just passing on information. So you may find that communicating the wisdom of your life experience to others helps you and others learn and grow in your life journeys. So they're going back to the higher mind. In the ninth house, we are involved with the higher mind, the higher self, higher education, philosophy, psychology, religion, sociology, all of the disciplines which require intellect. This is where Gemini can actually shine or bring forth all the characteristics of the intellectuality. So in this house, Gemini's got to do more than just get a basic understanding and then start acting like they know what they're talking about. They got to really dig deep and really make sure. So you want the type of test that really puts you into the situation. You don't just want to test. Oh, look, I got 100. Now you think you know everything. No, you want a test that really can. What would you do if Johnny walked in and smacked you dead across your face? See, now that's a little bit realer. What would I do if Johnny? Oh man, I would get up and knock Johnny out. But you want a real test, because that's the only way you can talk about it to anybody else. Otherwise, you're going, oh, you got to breathe, and just think positive thoughts, and maybe Johnny might have some problems, or anybody could do that. Anybody could give you the right answer. But when Gemini's in the ninth house, they want Gemini to be real, like really grow out of that just getting general knowledge and then thinking you know everything. You got to really have been through it. So that's why the ninth house is there for Gemini. And that's why Lilith retrograde is there to say, are you really like that? What are you doing? So your eighth house and your ninth house are going right back to your third house, because you got a lot of drama in that third house. Because it just looks like some type of because you just want to be free. You want to say what you want to say, and that's how you want it to be. But that he ain't having it. Like not in this life. Like both of y'all probably can fly off the handle. But Uranus means that anything could happen. Anything could happen at the spur of the moment. And then when you got Mars and Saturn, that ain't good. They say again, the caution is Gemini could approach these disciplines purely from an intellectual viewpoint or intellectual curiosity. Because Gemini is very intellectual, they just don't go deep. And that's why, like in twin flames, when you see that third house of that Gemini energy, that's usually causing separation between the twins. Since the ninth house is directly opposed to the third house of communication, the karmic responsibility off on the ninth house is to be involved in the higher disciplines, but communicate them. Of course, it is also the house of freedom, and Gemini needs the freedom to explore, to investigate, but the results of the exploration and the results of the investigation must be communicated to others. It's always from the higher mind quality. So your ninth house is also a communication house. Your ninth house is more like learning the real deal and then being able to talk with others about it. And your third house is kind of like the same thing. And that's why they got Sagittarius in your third house and Gemini in your ninth house. Because in both of those houses, you're really supposed to be getting information for the higher good. And you're really supposed to be getting information and learning it to the point you really understand it. So in both those houses, you're trying to learn harmony and wisdom. Gemini must learn to harmonize wisdom, the intellect, with life itself, as these things are applied in the nitty-gritty daily encounters with people, places, and events. Now it says the legal aspect of the ninth house could illustrate itself in Gemini through an analytical approach. Carrying over the influence of the eighth house, Gemini could develop a sense of the higher justice of spiritual law as it relates to mankind and the ability to teach that to man. This teaching aspect of Gemini on the ninth house, in the ninth house, is important from the viewpoint of the college professor. And then they talk about both your third house and ninth house, like I just did. Communication on the part of Gemini could be through writing and publishing. All right. Now, medium coeli is part of your true north node too. It's part of your life purpose. So now you have the whole family thing going on. And I know we got to go back. I know we got those couple of houses down there to do. But we'll stay going this way right now. So again, but see, medium coeli is education as well. It's like teenage to adult education. So this person may have some type of teaching skills, a teacher. So Cancer represents your fourth house. That's teenage to adult education, land and property, real estate, family and ancestors, the heart, vehicle and travel. The Imam Coeli, who is the mother in her subconscious mind. And it's kind of funny because you see the moon, and the moon represents the mother or the divine feminine, and it's in her seventh house of relationships with that probably her soulmate is right there. Because when you really understand twin flames, you will see that connection to your mother and your twins and all that. Just like she's asking me about names, you will see the same names. People will look alike. All kind of weird stuff will be happening. So 25 degrees Cancer. Let's look at that. Let me see that again. All right, give me a moment. "25 degrees Cancer." Generous, dreamy, and artistic character, loathing daily routine and dull events. Like the meteor, one follows a personal and quite unusual path. Life is brilliant and achievements are numerous, though irregular and non-lasting. If one reaches a top position, there is danger that one is toppled from power. Nevertheless, there is nothing to worry about because a good star is constantly protecting the person influenced by this degree. And life is much happier than that of most people. So you have a good star protecting you, and they don't give you more info. And I could say what star protects 25 degrees Cancer. And this says Cancer individual agree. Let me just look at some of this stuff. I just want to know. This is astrologyweekly.com. So they give Cancer's degrees 25. Crust of the 10th lunar mansion, critical degree. Which it is, because it is 10th. And then when he says mansion, he means house. He says a critical degree, but he doesn't say nothing else. Let me see if I see. All right, so what I'm going to do with this. We're going to say Cancer degrees. Give me a second, because I want to put this in my file. Just bear with me, y'all. Right now, I want to close up some of these windows I got open. All right, so it didn't really tell you what the degree means. So astrology. Give me a moment. I'm just looking through these degrees. Degree signs of failure, the next sacred invitation. Alright, we can't really use that. Close this. Come on, what am I looking for? Alright. The 360 symbolic degrees in astrology. Yeah, no, I think that's where I'm at. Yep. Alright. Cancer rising and decadence. Well, it's not really Cancer rising, but let's just see this. And 20, alright. The degree of Cancer, well, it's not a Cancer rising though, so we can't really use it. Alright, fake stars. Alright, so nobody's really going in on that. They just said you had a protecting angel, so And like I said, whenever you see Cancer, that's always gonna be, Imon Coeli. That's always gonna be like the feminine, the divine feminine. So when I said Mother Mary, I might have been referencing that position. But it's also in your seventh house of relationships too. All right, now 28 degrees Cancer. Instinctive, passionate, but easygoing character, endowed with sharp intellectual facilities, a subtle mind, and numerous gifts. Fateful events or plots engineered by jealous people may seriously limit one's freedom and even threaten one's life should the natal chart concur. It is indispensable to be on one's guard. But on the chart, the one that's doing it is kind of like the twin, because it seems like your twin's gonna have kind of like jealousy issues towards you, or your twin is gonna have insecure issues within himself that he's not really impressed with you doing good because it makes him feel insecure. And for some reason, that is part of your true north node, because that whole Taurus takes you right into your second house, because Taurus rules your second house, and your second house got issues. Go back to your eighth house, Taurus is there, you got issues. All right, now Leo's in your 11th house, but Leo wants to have fun. Leo is romantic, his friends, association, groups. But if you notice, it's not a whole lot of no other activity. Leo wants to travel with children, childlike ways and things like that. All right, so we're not gonna do your that would be your 12th house. So we're gonna say that for last. Now when we go back to your 4th house, see, like any psychic abilities you have to have, any psychic abilities you have to be very careful because it's kind of like being blocked. So only you would know that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way I could know that. Because somebody might say, "Oh, I understand what you're saying, but my psychic abilities are really good." I'm just saying, but on your chart, you can see it's blocked, and that's why when people got psychic abilities, you got to be very careful because you don't want to get in the habit of just believing your psychic ability or your gifts if they're not really, if they're being blocked, because you have to learn how to deal with that and maybe get around the blocks or whatever you're going to do. But they're definitely being blocked here, which means you could become, because Scorpio's known for that. Scorpio will accuse people and stuff and be dead wrong, but sometimes they real psychic. Sometimes they could be right too. That's why I said it's really important. I'm gonna say, I'll never stop saying this. It's important for people to have their natal charts because that's the only way you can really tell. What people what people fail to realize is all I'm trying to do is help, because when you take a course where you don't care what's on your chart, or you don't care, you don't like, I want it to be this way, you're going to be the one repeating this over, not me. So now the 4th house. See, it's not a lot there. Uh, and see, with Neptune in your 4th house, is going to take you right back to your 12th house because it rules Pisces, and also takes you to your 6th house where Pisces is there. So you definitely got Virgo. So that might be another reason why I said what I said. You got a lot of Virgo situations too. All right. All right, we're going to do Saturn in the 4th house. This is my astrologybook.com. All right, so emotional foundation, subconscious self-image based on early childhood are established in the 4th house. The way we feel about ourselves is conditioned by our experience with our parents or significant others. So we're either going to feel close to people or distant to people. It says the test with Saturn. Well, what did I do? All right. Give me one moment. Yeah, because I'm saying Capricorn. So that's what I'm doing. I want Capricorn in the 4th house. Because Saturn rules Capricorn. But I wanted to say Capricorn in the 4th house. All right. So this is astrologyclub.org. So they're saying it's a person that works really hard to provide for their family. Anybody they consider their family. They say the location of Capricorn is directly opposed to the 10th house because see Capricorn rules the 10th house, but you have yours in your family sector. And you have your family sector in your 10th house, of which Capricorn is a natural ruler, so it is a great challenge for the Capricorn sign. Capricorn in this location must learn the value and the necessity and the responsibility of helping others to find meaning and direction and purpose in life. Again, the fencing and quality of Capricorn actually denies to others the energy, intelligence, and understanding that can be so meaningful to the lives of others. In many ways, a Capricorn has an inferior complex, and this could be one of the reasons why Capricorn does not get too involved in the lives of others. So they kind of give you the same advice they gave you for your 3rd house of Gemini. They said the Capricorn needs to get involved with daily affairs, daily encounters with people, places, and events. So now they're saying that emotionality is just as important to a Capricorn as it is to a Cancer. They said a Cancer will express it more easily. So that they're encouraging a Capricorn to really get to be around people and really be, express your emotions. All right, now now we're gonna do Neptune and Capricorn. When you see Neptune and Capricorn, it is a dissolving and dissolution of old governments and national boundaries, such as the Iron Curtain in the Soviet Union, and government philosophies such as communism throughout the world. All these were dissolved when Neptune was in Capricorn. So when these ruling energies got dissolved, idealism began to replace these. So then idealism was Neptune. So Neptune in Capricorn symbolizes the entrance of the spirit or the idea into form and structure. So they say that advanced souls carnated while Neptune was in Capricorn. So these individuals will take positions of statesmen and stateswomen, educators, because that's what you keep seeing on her chart, an educator, healers, and spiritual leaders. I mean, so far that's what we're seeing. We begin to witness the sea tapped for minerals at that time. See, now her 4th house is real unique because it's almost like in this life she's being forced to surrender. Like your money ain't gonna be your money gonna be in the 8th house when it should be in the 2nd, and in other people's money. So she's being forced to like really be more involved with things. They're kind of forcing her. But at the same time, in the family sector, she's kind of helping him not be so authoritarian. And see, her 4th house is connected to her 7th house because of that moon. Because that moon rules Cancer, which Cancer rules the 4th house. which is family. So they're not telling you a whole lot, but it just seems like in her family she had that Capricorn energy. Like maybe they worried more about reputation than they worried about the affections, or maybe if there was a male there, he was more about the career, working and stuff, so he didn't really show a lot of affection. And now she's with this guy in the third house, that he's got the same type of Capricornian energy through Saturn, because he wants to more or less put the law down, and he's trying to stop her from expressing herself and stuff like that. But that's kind of what she should be doing according to her chart. And then Neptune is going to be trying to help heal with this Virgo energy. And I think that's probably why I was saying Mother Mary. Because even Pisces, all that Mother Mary and Pisces in the 12th house, even Taurus. Taurus is like the Pope. Because in tarot cards, Taurus is the Pope. So now we go to the 5th house where Leo is again. And now, when you see Aquarius in the 5th house, this is the person that they want to date something. They don't want nothing conventional. They like doing unconventional stuff. And the person they want to date is unconditional, but they'll do anything. They'll use toys in relationships. They'll love the internet, like they'll try to have an internet relationship with somebody and stuff like that. And that's their sun sign, Aquarius. Because Aquarius is the teacher, and they more or less want to change the world, but help the community, help the world. And Jupiter is right there, so they can make money too. And since it's in the 5th house, it's almost like fun. It's using fun to reach the community. But your 5th house is also about love and dating and children and things like that. But like I said, but for some strange reason, it doesn't really show up. It doesn't really show up in the 11th house. And you have to ask yourself why. Because that would be the biggest question. Because you got Vesta there, you got the Sun there, you even got Jupiter there. But for some reason, you have nothing. But you can interpret it that Leo, they would be somewhat of a leader, because that's what Leo is. But that, to me, that's the mystery of this chart. Is why, if their 5th house has Aquarius there and the Sun and Jupiter and all that, then why wouldn't they have? And sometimes that is a person that puts some, like, that could be, when that person is put on lockdown. Like if they have a person in their life that person really locks them down, that they can't get out socially. But I don't know if that's the situation here or not. So again, Vesta. So, but anyway, your 5th house is, because Vesta is there. That's you have to slow down, because Vesta means this is where a person's putting all their energy, and that means you can get sick. So you have to slow down. You can overwork yourself or stress yourself out, drive yourself out. So Vesta says know how to take breaks and how to refresh yourself. So you have a lot of sun energy in your 5th house, and that is your sun sign. And the funny thing about Leo and Aquarius is they oppose each other. Just like they oppose each other on the chart, but they actually oppose each other in real life as well. Doesn't mean they hate each other; they just oppose each other. So now we're going to do Vesta and Aquarius. And again, whenever you see Jupiter, yeah, well, there is a clue. I could be right. See, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. And where Sagittarius is, you see him trying to control everything with Mars and stuff. So, like I said, I don't like bullies. I can't stand bullies. But but at the same time, I try to teach people that you have to stand up for yourself too. And then, like I said, and plus the money is being controlled in the second house, and really the eighth house, because she's getting money. She's getting money in the fifth house, and it's almost going into the sixth house as well. And that Jupiter might even be on the border of the fifth and the sixth house. But you could tell she's being like controlled. All right, so we're gonna do Vesta and Aquarius. And a lot of times, if you feel connected to Mother Mary, that could also be your earthly mother, because we're dealing with higher selves. And your higher self is Source, really. We all come from Source, and we all gonna go back to Source. All right. All right. So there's a website I seldom use, but it says Vesta and Aquarius. It says Moon Pluto Astrology.com. Vesta and Aquarius. So I just learned something. Aquarius rules frankincense, because when Jesus was born, they brought him frankincense. Frankincense has many magical uses, including the summoning of spirits and strengthening concentration. Hello, Vesta. But they brought him myrrh, because I'm always telling you all about myrrh angels. They brought him myrrh and frankincense. But I always told you the myrrhs are angelic spirits. I always told you all that. See, listen to what she says. She says if your chart is short on fire by sign or house, then consider Vesta's placement. Because your Leo ain't doing nothing, and that's a fire sign. Vesta's placement is a dose of fire and passion. But it's just not in the right house, because that fifth house, I mean, you'll do anything. See, Aquarius will do anything. It's not conventional. So when that person feels locked down, they'll do anything. So that's the danger. She said, I'm remembering also in the Venus-Mars class, I learned from my own studies that Mars has to do with separation. And that's what you see in her third house. Because Mars is he's trying to use Mars to lock her down. And Venus is social. And Vesta has that feeling about her as well. So they're saying when it comes to social, Vesta can be just like Venus. And you see Venus going into the next house. So you got a lot of motherly energy trying to heal your situation. It's Virgo energy, like I said, Mother Mary, the Virgin Mother Mary. You got a lot of motherly energy trying to heal you. All right, so that's insightful, but I needed a little bit more. It's not the best ever. Okay. All right, so I believe this is Dr. Bairavee, Bairavee. She's pretty good. You can see her on YouTube too. But it's not what I'm looking for. Let me try it one more time. All right. Vesta is the priestess, the goddess of chaos and creation. She is the energy of knowing that in all creation there must be an ending, and that all rules must eventually be changed as circumstances change, and that we are truly all here to assist each other. Vesta is the fixed air sign. Vesta in Aquarius is possibly the most transformational of the signs, as she constantly searches the information, looking for what must be changed, and sometimes this energy is just likes to change things for the heck of it. Constant reconnection to universal law are a must for this placement. So Vesta's using the sun energy and the fiery energy of Leo to help her change. But I just get the strongest feeling, but she's doing it like on the internet. Like she ain't doing it around people though. But what she has to realize is that her chart is kind of advising her to get out and really be around people. Because Vesta is trying to oppose that Mars energy. And just me, I'm just assuming she may know, she may not know, but she would also have to understand the relationship between her mother and her father, because I think that has a lot to do with it. Because I kind of think she's living it again with her twin. Just something I'm feeling. All right, now we're going into the sixth house with Pisces. So the sixth house is about health, healing, service, daily activities, home, children, small animals, co-workers, or subordinates. So this home environment is spiritual services. And remember, Jupiter used to rule Pisces as well. So again, whenever you see like Jupiter in the 12th house or Jupiter with Pisces, it's implying that this person may have a guardian angel protecting them too. So now she has great communication in these areas in the home. So that's why we said, see, her 10th house is career, but she has Cancer there, which can be the home. Could be a home career. Even if she doesn't have it now, she may have it in the future. But she's a real good communicator, and she's got that Gemini going on. So she's got real strong Gemini energy that she keeps strong, even though he tries to control her. But she loves her so much that she finds a way. That's what to me, that's what her 5th house is about. Because that's her fun. Her fun is finding a way to get away from him, so that she can feel free again. And so she's got good communication. And in that house of service, she has a lot of love. She gets finances from both Jupiter and Venus. And beauty, finances, diplomacy, forgiveness, having fun. So that's what she's got to come to reckon with. And that's her Virgo in the 12th house. And as you see, she doesn't get any nurturing. But I'm pretty sure the reason why she doesn't get any nurturing this life or past life, because probably because of him. So she doesn't really get any nurturing. And that's all home stuff. And see, her 7th house again is aggression. Because see, her 1st house should be I am. See, Aries should be in her 1st house. But in her 1st house, she's we are. So she doesn't really know how to function as I am. And then for some reason in her 7th house, which should be we are, now it's I am, it's aggression. So whether it's these two fighting each other or somebody being aggressive, but the 7th house is not really relationship wise. And it seems like the relationship they do have is just based on whatever's power struggle. True Scorpio. So we're going to do Virgo at 11 degrees. Romantic relationships are fraught with dangers. See, they keep warning her about dangers. Beneath selfishness and nice attitudes, so-called friends are driven by the lure of profit only. And you see somebody's controlling her money or manipulating her financially. The degree indicates trickery and falsity, whether one is the perpetrator or the victim. And by the look of the chart, she's pretty much the victim. Give me 1 second, I'm sorry. Give me one moment. I'm going to try to figure out a way to get this. And I'll be right with you. All right, now we'll continue. All right, so we want Virgo in the 12th house. Let me do it again. What's that? 12th house, 12th house, 12th house. 12th house. L2, identify what? All right. So they say because this person is a Virgo, they have detail orientation. Because they are Virgos are real good with finding details or critical analysis. And see, she's got a good mind for it in her 6th house, and she can communicate very well. So I'm kind of, but you do got Venus, because Venus gets you money too. But that's why Jupiter is so close. Like on another chart, you might even see that Jupiter is closer to the 6th house, because she can make a lot of money in that house. What they're saying, they're trying to teach her compassion, because they keep saying that a lot. So you don't know, she may have been I'm not saying she was, but she may have lacked compassion in a previous life, and now in this life he's kind of like getting her back for the previous life. All right, so that's something she has to work on in this life too. All right, so we want Virgo on the 12th. So they say, well, which we already told you, be careful of trying to change your plans to keep accommodating other people. See, the 12th house doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It just means you show compassion to people. But you're probably still going to have to tell people, find somebody else to call or do it your own way. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really just helping where you can help, but you can't let everybody just run over top of you. And that's why I say, no matter what people say about astrology, it's not, oh, I did this in a past life, so now this is happening to me. You still gotta have self-esteem and things like that. It's just that you gotta be more balanced. But in some cases, because like I said, nobody's perfect. So you might be trying to be as balanced, and you might still not find it, because the other person might not be, or other people might not be balanced. That's why I said don't drive yourself crazy trying to find perfection. There is no perfection. Like in my case, I tried talking to this person over and over again. At any time they could have chose to talk. They chose not to talk. So it's not really my fault, because I made the offer. And they say, oh, if you had spoken like this, or you had done that. I was like, I'm not going to fake my emotions. If that's not how I feel, I'm not going to sit there and fake it. So if you're not careful, you can get caught up with a lot of BS that's on this planet. That's why I said I just tell people the truth to make them, those who listen, they get stronger and move on with their life. Otherwise, you're going to stay on this. It's like a roller coaster. And it's always going to be something you could have did, should have, could have. And you're always going to be doubting yourself and doubting everything. And then when you get some real information, you're gonna run from it because you never learned how to grow up. Because see, somebody that learns how to grow up, they can process information. But somebody who doesn't grow up, they don't want to hear it. They're gonna run. Or I don't like that. I don't like his tone. They're running all over the place, and they're never gonna get it together. Which means they're gonna have to repeat it again. So you got to get to the point where you're confident with yourself, you believe in yourself, and you move forward. And that's why I be telling people, if you're scared of separation, if you're scared of breaking up and stuff, especially if you're being bullied, it's never going to change. You're going to hate it. And the longer you wait to do something about it, the harder it's going to be. And it's just easier for people to, oh, my father beat me. Oh, my mother hit me. Oh, I was in a relationship and somebody hurt me. But what did you do about it? I mean, I'm not saying little kids, they don't know no better. But usually I'm not talking about, these are not little kids. They're just people who choose to take the easy way out. And your life is never going to get better if you keep doing it. Sometimes you just got to take risks. Trust God, trust spirit. Because that's the way you're helping that person. Like if somebody got an alcoholic problem, you got to help that person. Because if not, they're going to die. They'll drink themselves to death. So they also say in the 12th house, don't use the 12th house to martyr yourself. In other words, don't help people just to draw attention to yourself. Or like if you are a teacher, try to teach on the subject and not just share everything you've been through. Sometimes you got to, because you got to heal too. That's what people don't understand. A lot of these healers out here, they're trying to heal other people, but they need to heal themselves too. So you got to heal yourself too. So they say make sure you take care of yourself, because remember, Virgo is all about health. So if you're not taking care of yourself, your health is going to get bad. So Virgo is about the soul's descent into matter. And they said that about Neptune and Capricorn too. So they're saying make sure you and Neptune rules Pisces, which is interesting. The 12th house. So your service in the 12th house is a soul service, a soul awareness. See, even here he's saying, now remember I said universal citizenship. Now they say in the 12th house, this is astrologyclub.org. In the 12th house, you are involved with universality of those principles of a universal nature which govern all of life, both the visible and the invisible. And that's what I be trying to tell you. If you understand that, you have universal citizenship. This is an awareness that Virgo can bring to mankind, and this awareness in itself can be beneficial to the upliftment of mankind's consciousness. So the 12th house is about karma. So they said in many ways, this awareness of mankind's consciousness can bring a double dose of karma with Virgo here because of the soul implication. And since the 12th house does deal with soul and karma, it is through this soul awareness that cosmic consciousness can be achieved. And that's why you got to have some type of social connections with people. Because it's in your it's on your natal chart too. See, your life purpose is to try to get through this with him and work it out with him, but that doesn't shut everything else down. You got other things to do too. That's why I said I've been doing this a long time, and I just grew up a lot. But like I know the only way anything's gonna work is you have to meet somebody that can learn how to respect you. You gotta respect them, but it can't always be lovey-dovey, hugged up, and because you get on each other's nerves and stuff. And you can do that with a person and they'll still cheat on you. It's just this planet that we're on. It's just the way it is. And for people to act like that's not the way it is, it's just silly. And for people to be mad at me, that's just silly. I'm telling you the truth. I mean, you're running from reality. What do you think is going to happen when you're running from reality? Good things are not going to come out, because someday, at some point, you're going to have to come out of that fantasy world. And when you do get to the mature state, you'll probably have a better relationship, because that person will learn how to just, we're in a relationship, but I can't stress them out. Like, I can't stalk them. I can't be obsessed with them. They got their own light. And you give them the same respect. And if y'all can get past the little kitty stuff and learn how to trust each other and have some character and integrity, you probably have a way better relationship. But all this, I want to see you all the time. Where were you? Who's this number on your phone? Oh, I called you, you didn't pick up. What's going on? You better not be cheating on me. And all this crazy stuff we're doing in third dimensional. You can see why people are miserable. And that's why they are cheating, because they get sick of hearing the crazy stuff. So that's why I said, when you really apply astrology the way it was sent, you start to grow up. And you start to see, well, I need to work on this. You understand? You grow up, you start to have character and maturity. But if not, if you're running on YouTube talking about love and, oh, the 7th house and Venus, and that's all you talk about, that's like little kitty stuff. When are you going to grow up? And it doesn't work out anyway. That's why you still have people still sleeping around. They say, oh, this is my twin, I sleep with them. Oh, this is my soulmate, I sleep with them. Oh, this is my karmic relationship, I sleep with them. You understand? And then they wonder why things don't work out in their life. Their life is in disarray. And then they get mad at somebody like me that tells them the truth. Because they'd rather hear somebody talking crazy that's just lying to them. So when you get in the 12th house, the 12th house is like the reckoning. You gotta meet all of that and deal with it. You have to find a way, even if it's professional help from a qualified counselor, but whatever you need. But that's what the 12th house is about. So Virgo can help people in the 12th house balance the two worlds. And that can bring about personal and individual fulfillment for each person. So they're saying Virgo in the 12th house can start to use their intuition more. And they can learn compassion and understanding in the 12th house. So the 12th house is a house really of service, about other people, but it's about, working with other people, kind of putting them first and helping them. But again, you still have to have your own personality, and you can't let them burn you out. And you also shouldn't use the house just to draw people to attention to you. You have to really come there to serve. All right, so that concludes that. All right, so now I'm going to look over the questions because she had questions. So I tried my best to explain to Mother Mary. It's just the divine feminine. Could also be your earthly mother, her higher self. And then it's when we really cover Pisces. It's all about healing that Virgo, that home, that Virgo energy. Because it's just that Virgo, like, you still have to learn how to talk. Because you see that problem in the third house too. Because you have to learn how to, you can make your point, but you have to be able to, don't just say it bluntly. Because sometimes Virgos can be very critical. Because in the third house, you got those kind of like issues there. You can't just say something without thinking or bluntly, especially with him, because he's going to overreact. And then she asked about Aquarius, well, we explained that. But even in it, they're just trying to get you, I think, at the end of the day, and I can tell it's going to be challenging, but you would have to be less afraid of that person. And, it's your true north node and life purpose to try to work it out with that person, but you also have other commitments as well. And that's why I said, sometimes the best thing you can do, you just have to find out a way. Like with me, but I've been doing a lot of this stuff a long time. But with me, I already knew, like, I'm a spiritual person, always have been. So spirituality was, even you see me do this, even out here, I could have just played the same game most of these people are playing, and I would have been filthy rich. But I couldn't do it. My conscience and my heart. I mean, it's sad that people really are like that. They'd rather be lied to and stuff like that. You know, it's sad. So you gotta have your agenda. You gotta have your character and stuff like that. And things will work itself out. You know, life just. But if you're looking for perfection, nobody's gonna find perfection. That's why these people are running around sleeping with everybody, because they're never gonna find. And you're definitely not gonna find it like that. But they're never gonna find. You gotta understand, you're not gonna find perfection. But when you start to have confidence in yourself and confidence in whatever God or whatever you believe, you'll have confidence. And then if you got somebody around you that's kind of crazy or psychopathic or whatever's going on, then you gotta to help yourself and to get help for them. But that's why you do have 911 or whatever you need to do. But they did warn you constantly to watch yourself, and they kept saying words like danger and stuff like that and violence. So you really have to be careful with that. So that would be the Mother Mary, that would be the Pisces, and that would be the Aquarius. Alrighty. So we will be doing more because we have another order for this person, and it's going to be with natal charts, and then the final order we have. Alright, but that concludes this video. We are offering sales right now. You could also look on the channel because it shows you the sales, and you can also look in the description box as well. And you can always contact me, and we also offer the service. Service is offered and priceless. God bless.